Alright everyone, the Ann Selzer saga continues, of course, with the Des Moines Register down there releasing an Iowa poll right before the election showing Harris actually up in the state. And it was a push poll. To be clear, this poll was deliberately rigged in favor of Harris to try to depress Trump's turnout. It didn't work out too well. It was a 16-point difference between the actual poll and the final result. That doesn't happen by accident. This can be drawn up to malice. Now, part of me would like to give, a little bit of an excuse and say, well, maybe Selzer missampled or something like that. 16 points, though, seems a little bit too much. I don't think that this was due to missampling. I pointed this out at the time, and liberals were, replicating this poll. Well, this is the gold standard of Iowa polling. She's been right every single time. Quite clearly, she's right this time as well, because there's no possibility that you accidentally missample a cohort within statistics. Clearly that happened. I think that it was on purpose. Again, I don't think that this was accidental. You don't end up with that kind of differential unless you're trying to fuck with the polling numbers. And that's exactly what I think happened, and so now she's retiring. Not a surprise. You've completely discredited yourself. You've created a poll that quite clearly was catastrophically wrong. Not just wrong by, you were off by 2 points. Okay, that's forgivable. You're going to have that wiggle room within the margin of error within polling. When it's 16 fucking points, though, you should have looked at your numbers. You should have said, clearly this can't be right. It doesn't comport to literally any other polling in the entire nation. It literally, it doesn't even come close. We're talking a double-digit gap between the poll that we've just conducted and, the remarkable reality, which is every other poll in the entire nation. And it doesn't even matter which polling firm it was. This didn't even comport to, Washington Post or anything like that. It didn't even comport to the left-wing media. And of course, they're going to screw with their numbers too. Adjust a couple of numbers here, a couple of numbers there. Yeah, maybe we polled this far blue district. They do that all the time. That's why the aggregate is the only sane polling that you can use. This is why I use RCP, for example. Selzer's poll, though, was off the charts. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. And the liberals were crowing about it. Oh my God, Kamala's going to win Iowa. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's going to lose it by at least close to double digits. That is a foregone conclusion. I didn't even bother to consider the state of Iowa because it's a red state now. It's no longer a swing state like it was maybe 20 years ago. Selzer stubbornly resisted this fact and decided to go with this particular poll. So now she's rage quit. She's taking her toys and going home. We're seeing a lot of that, by the way, lightly. You also have Chuck Schumer. Now he's calling for bipartisanship on Capitol Hill after saying he wanted to end the filibuster and ram things through. Very, very interesting now, isn't it? How things change depending on who is in power. The Republicans do this too, by the way. But Selzer, I think, takes, well, now technically Lichtman takes the Loser of the Year award. He was the most catastrophically wrong in a systemic sense. This is only a single poll, so this is just Iowa. Selzer was definitely the most wrong in any single polling period for a single state, by a double-digit margin, by the way. Again, I don't know what fucking sampling methodology was used here, but it was clearly wrong. Lichtman, I think, is more of the general loser, as he had most of those states, most of the competitive states, down for Kamala Harris. And of course, he was wrong on all of them. He had her winning, I don't think he had her winning Iowa, but he definitely had her winning most of the competitive states. I think there were a couple of exceptions, like Nevada or something like that. He's the biggest loser overall, but Selzer is the one that actually quit. Lichtman will be back in 2028 to do his 13 keys to the White House nonsense again. He'll probably be right as long as he can properly interpret them, by the way. At the very least, he has a schema, a format that allows him to make predictions. With Selzer, it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Here, I polled 1,000 Kamala Harris fans. Magically, she decided to win. That appears to be effectively what happened. I don't know what cohort was being used, but quite clearly it was wrong. And so now she has quit her job. She is no longer working with the Des Moines Register. I'm so surprised at this, by the way. That's about all. Peace out.